Guten Abend, Colin. Wie geht es dir?
Don't start that again.
Well, you don't want to speak German, all right? I won't.
Oh, dropped it.
Drop the ball again. There we go. Good stuff. Evening, Cole. Anyway, guten Abend aus Mönchengladbach und herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge von Don's Unplugged.
Anyway, good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
How you doing, mate? Anyway, you're good.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
Good. I'm still recovering from last week's show. What a belter. What a belter it was.
Amazing. And thank you for everybody that came up to me on Saturday and said what a great show. We've had messages.
We've had loads. We've had emails. We've had social media. We've had people come up to you in person. And again, look, guys, we're really grateful for all the messages, as we always.
Have you had anybody come up to you in Germany?
Do you know what? I did actually show a few people, and you're going to laugh at this, but Eugen Polanski, who is the Borussia Mönchengladbach manager, I was with him and a few others in the Players' Lounge after the game on Saturday, and I did show him a clip of our show, and he laughed, and he thought it was very good. So there we go. He laughed. He said,
"Most people laugh with it."
Yeah, he did, and he laughed. But hey, you never know, Cole. We could end up being screened live in Borussia Park if we're lucky.
Oh, good.
Unlikely, but it was good. It was good to show people.
Anyway, it was a good night, wasn't it? Cracking.
It was
night.
Good
I
night.
really enjoyed it.
On a serious note, a really great night. And again, a massive thank you to Paul. As always, and to Joe and everyone. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone helped put it together. Paul was great. Paul was really positive after the show.
We couldn't get rid of him, could we? Couldn't get rid of him.
You say that, Cole. I may or may not have already teed up some time for him to come back. But hopefully, as I say, we should get that sorted out for early in the new year. I'll leave it there for the moment.
I wasn't idle on Saturday when I was at the ground.
I know. I hear.
I tapped up an ex-Dons player, and he's coming on the show.
Fantastic. How is Osman So these days?
Yeah, he's absolutely brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. And Stephen Wern sends his regards.
God help me. All right, it's one step off.
We've got Luke Chadwick coming on, haven't we?
We have. And again, great effort, Cole. And again, as always, really good, because with him, we've got 2, 3, 4... Another potentially 7 guests who have said a provisional yes, 3 of which are almost confirmed. But we'll announce that as we get closer to it. But stay tuned, as always, right, for these things. The Pied Piper that's got him is just backfired horrendously. But there we go. Anyway, as I say, show 58, Cole. Show 58.
No, I don't want to talk. Well, let's talk about show 57. I like that show.
I did. But show 58 is going to be a belter.
I must admit, I was a little bit nervous at the start. I don't know why. I'm not normally nervous, but, I profile guests and all the rest of it. But bloody hell. I mean, I've seen comments like the best manager interview I've ever seen and things like that.
Yeah, we had some really good stuff. And like I say, I mean, what a generally down-to-earth, lovely guy, Paul was. Really was, and is ultimately. But, he really enjoyed his time. I know that for a fact, and he was more than happy to come back. So, we'll get that sorted out, as I say.
Stop begging, Paul. You're coming back, all right?
Hopefully, Cole, if the gods are with us, early February, just after the transfer window's closed, so we can review what's gone on in the January window. There we go. Yeah, we're on to show 58. So tonight we've got quite a bit to talk about. Firstly, thank you to our sponsor, Mr. Kaz at the Kaz Bar. And again, they've asked us to say, just to let you all know, they will be there for the Boxing Day games and the Christmas game as over the whole
all the festive games are going to be there. Yep, so
they are.
No worry, you're going to get your Kaz Bar fix.
So, if you're OD'd on turkey and you fancy a burger, a hot dog or anything else.
Fancy getting out the house on Boxing Day.
Mr. Kaz. But we could do the show without you, Kaz. We know you've been watching. We appreciate you, and again, really looking forward to seeing you in the Boxing Day game when I'm back. Also, as I say, we have got the Luke Payne, Mr. Chris Kamara of the Mr. Chris Kamara of the Don's Unplugged. Well, there you go. So we'll be talking all things Cambridge United review. Obviously, Cole, we had a little slot that we started doing called Injury of the Week, so seems quite relevant at the moment.
We sort of started it as a little bit of a joke, light-hearted joke, and it's become like a long-running feature, isn't it? But we're gonna have a look at that in a little while.
We will be. We'll be talking about all things and the injuries that have been there.
The next one on the agenda I really like.
I do, because I don't know if anyone who's been reading the MK Citizen, but they said, quote, that they had an exclusive regarding the article on Monday about the naming rights for the stadium, which, if anyone who was watching last Thursday,
we revealed it last week.
Yeah. So sorry, MK Citizen, you're
not an
you're
exclusive. You heard it here first.
You heard it. You always hear it here first, Cole. There we go. Right. You want Don's news? Come here. We'll get it for you first. We want to hit your names again. Some great names that we had on the show last week. We didn't manage to get through all of them, so please share your ideas.
Yeah. You got any ideas?
For stadium names.
I mean, light-hearted ones as well as serious ones. You know, like somebody said the Sausage Roll Stadium or something, or the Greg Stadium, or let me just.
I can't think why, Cole. I can't think why.
No, I don't.
But yeah, we're going to talk about transfer window.
It's beyond me why anybody talk about Greg.
Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. What do you know? What do you know?
Yeah, go on.
But no, so we're going to talk about the transfer window, obviously, and Neil and Paul obviously came out. It's going to be quiet. Was that a mistake? Will we see a few more people coming through the door?
Well, in light of recent news, we'll have a little chat about that.
Exactly. We've got the FA Cup game rescheduled to Friday night as well for TV. So we're going to ask about your feelings on that. But also, is £25 too much for a ticket in the
adult?
Adult
in the cowshed, £25.
I think pretty steep, but again, we'll come on to that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, obviously, Fahad's comments about increasing capacity at Stadium MK and his thoughts on that. I'd say FA Cup, if you're listening, probably would have been a good start. Team talk, obviously, with Chris and Ryan. We've got the preview of Harrogate Town with Mr. Neil Hurst, who's our Harrogate fan, joining us a little later. And we'll also remind you before the end of the show, and we wrap up the Christmas schedule and everything in between, Cole. Everything in between.
Well,
so, yeah. Quite a packed show.
I went off screen for a second there on my screen.
I saw. You panicked. You were like,
"Oh shit, yeah."
It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, before we get into all of that, it would be wrong of me not to start with our good evening roll call. So,
okay, I'll sit here quietly, just wave occasionally.
So, first off, Matt says good evening. Matt, good evening. Thanks for joining as always. Really appreciate it.
I hope Carrie Ann comes on tonight. I want to wave to her again.
Well, who knows? I'm sure she will be. Evening legends from Stephen. Stephen, thank you so much for joining.
Hi,
really
Stephen.
Always.
Thanks for joining.
We've got Karen. So Karen says evening.
Hi, Karen.
Thanks so much. And Colin, your wish is our command because bang.
Come on, Carrie Ann. Wave at that TV. Come on, wave. Come on, go.
I'm sorry, Carrie Ann. It keeps him busy. Right? But good evening to you as well, Carrie Ann.
I'm a bit overwhelmed that Carrie Ann's here. Karen.
You're overwhelmed.
Carrie Ann and Karen.
There you go. What a statement. Yeah, exactly right.
I need Sheila for my hat trick.
Well, you do. And maybe your wish will come true. But evening, you sexy mofos. Colin. Evening, Danny. Thank you very much for the humour, mate. I do appreciate it.
Danny.
Always a pleasure to have you on, mate. And so Sheila's with us. So she says, good evening. Watching Newcastle versus Fulham as well as watching Don's Unplugged. Now that is multitasking right there. Boom.
Can you keep us up to date with the scores, please? Saves me keep dobbing in and out and having a look.
Yeah, no pressure, Sheila.
No pressure. Just all the goals tonight. Thank you.
Live as they come through, but no, great to have Sheila on as well. Craig's joined us.
We could probably go live to Sheila at the ground, and she could give a little goal report.
The microphone. Chris tomorrow. What's the score? I don't know. Did they score? Yeah. Did I miss it?
Come on, Sheila. Get your big sheepskin jacket on.
John Watson
and a trilby.
I'm saying nothing. Oh, okay. Dear me. Anyway, Craig's joined. He said, good evening all. He said, would say good, but today's injury news puts a damper on things.
Well, he certainly does. He certainly does. Twice we're going to come at that.
Yeah, interesting, as you say. Good old Ollie is on with us as well. He says, best hangover cure ever, seeing these legends after the carnage of Ali Pali. Hope you enjoyed it, mate. I did see the Facebook pictures. Great time. How are we doing, lads? Okay, actually, Ollie, it's been sunny over here in Germany. And
you look lovely, Ollie. I saw the photos.
It did, yeah, absolutely. But no, I hope you had a great time, Ollie, and thanks for jumping on, mate. We have got as well George. George says, hi, good evening. Looking forward to the show as always. So no, thanks, George. Appreciate your comments as always as well.
Hey, George.
Josh says, even all, bit deflated after Cambridge and today's news. Yeah, we'll sort of be dissecting
the life of a Dons fan, eh, Josh?
Yeah, who'd think that Colin and I were 21 and aged horribly because of this football club, obviously, but if I'm right. If only. We've also got another comment from Colin. He said,
Colin,
evening, chaps. Evening, Colin. Thanks for joining. We've got Grant. Grant says, evening, Donnies and Donettes. So, yeah, nice little one there.
I like that approach from Grant every week. Good
I
evening,
do.
Donnies and
Grant's
Donettes.
a good guy. And I hope your son's doing well as well, Grant. I hope
Yeah.
he's watching. But yeah, great to have you both on. We've also got Mr. Ashley Cole on. That's AJ Cole, as it says on there. Ashley Clements. He says, "Evening, legends and Colin." Never break.
Nor good news. I like that.
Good news.
Nor.
For the PFA League 2 Player of the Month, Mendes Lang is out injured with a hamstring. Yeah, it feels like a curse, right?
Yeah. How long is a hamstring injury? Anybody know? Roughly.
I would imagine, Cole, minimum 3 months. Minimum 3 months.
Really?
Yeah. Because he said he felt it pop. So, I mean, it sounded quite horrific. I hope I'm wrong. But I can't see 2-3 months before he's probably back into full swing of things. Hopefully it's quicker, but with his age against him as well, you never know. That's a depression with these things, right? Danny says, "Is Jet from Belmarsh? Is it Jet from Belmarsh?" I'll wait for you. No, Cole? No?
We get some comments on here, don't we? Honestly.
We do. I'm saying nothing. I'm going to carry on. But yeah, all good, Danny. Even gents, and all looking forward to another great show from Matt. Matt, as always, thank you for joining. We have as well Lou QB1 who says, "Evening, guys. Evening, Lou. Thanks for joining."
Oh, look, you got a game going on in the background there, Aiden.
Me? That is a snooker. It's in German.
Yeah, okay.
I can hear it, but it's in German.
Well, look like football to me. I don't know.
Well, yeah. So the balls.
A lot of balls on the pitch.
There are balls. There are balls.
Harry.
Evening, fellas.
Harry's here.
Well, mate. Good to have you on with us as always. Again, Santander or Red Bulls from Stephen. So that's about obviously the naming rights for the stadium. So there we go. Yeah, be interesting. I mean, say both of them are cornerstones of Milton Keynes, but be interesting to see what comes from that.
How about the Greg's Ring Donut Stadium?
I've got nothing. Well, I've got plenty to say on that, Cole, but I think probably best left as is, right? Yeah, interesting. That's for sure. The Greg's Ring Donut Stadium. Oh my days, good stuff. Anyway, I think I said we'll go on to the
you're
naming
in
rights.
Gladbach, are you?
Yeah, I am. Did you know that? I don't know.
No, you've never mentioned it.
Never mentioned it. All right, I'll just crack on. Here we go. But, yeah, you're right there. All good. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, let's go through some of the naming rights. We've got a few comments on there as well.
So
Ashley said for the stadium, the Red Bull Racing Arena or the Max Verstappen Arena. Who knows? There we go. Also, you've got here as well from Ash, the prices for the FA Cup probably have a little too much, especially being on a Friday. Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. Ash, we'll come on to that a bit more in a second.
Yeah,
we'll be able to tell us working. Quite a few people will probably be in the same boat, Ash, to be honest.
It's all gone a bit flat since Paul Warren left here, isn't it?
Charming. Appreciate it. There we go. Thanks, Colin. I'm waving back from Kerry Ann, so thanks, Kerry Ann. Lou says the Casbah Stadium. 100%,
the Casbah Stadium. Now that would knock it with me. I like that.
Okie dokie. Evening all. Evening to your good self as well. Stephen says, Craig, apologies, says Mendes Lang has confirmed he needs surgery. Yes, he did today, actually. So,
yeah.
Not looking great, is it?
Was that from him and not the club or the club?
No, it was I think it was from both, to be fair, because it was on I was in the MK Citizen had that on there this afternoon from memory.
Oh, another exclusive.
Another exclusive, right after everyone else at the club. Right? Mendes going under the knife. I'd expect 3 games, as I said, and agree 100% even sooner.
On one bottle down. By the way.
Snowballs.
3.5%. Vicious stuff.
Are they? Fantastic. You'll be on the floor by the end of the show. And Colin says £35 in club bread for FA Cup match. Yes, I mean,
ridiculous.
It's interesting. It's interesting. That's for sure.
Can you put that back up? Put that back up. I
will do. It's coming back up. Don't worry. Grant said, I know Paul Warren said he wasn't really looking for the transfer window, but I wonder with Mendes Lang out if he might reconsider.
Well, we're going to
come on to that as well. And then last comment, best save till last, obviously, on that one. But I'm going to the Oxford game, but I'm loaded, so I don't care.
You know the score, Danny boy.
I'm saying nothing. Anyway, let's get on with the show. So, Cole, where do you want to start?
You can't take it with you. That's what I want to say.
Well, exactly right. Exactly. You can't take it with you
Well,
unless
when
it's on
do I
fun.
want to start?
Yeah,
At the
Luke,
beginning, I
some
reckon.
Cambridge review. Cambridge, do you want me to do Luke first, or do you want us to have a chat first? What's your thoughts?
Well, play roll VT, and then we'll talk about it after that. Yeah.
Absolutely, no worries. I shall
Roll
run
VT.
Right, we've got another game to cover, and this time it is the home game to Cambridge. Now, this was very much just a frustrating game, and that's the buzzword of the entire performance, the entire day, really. Frustrating. Even just for the sake of, the injuries we had in the first half, having to force 2 early changes, the first of which was for Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. He's now obviously gone through hamstring surgery. And that's going to keep him out for a while, which is a huge shame for him because he was coming into his own in the last sort of month or so. And obviously a huge shame for us because I feel like we desperately needed him. Not just in that game, but I'd say going into this sort of busy Christmas period as well. We then lost Lawrence Maguire as well, although that one seems a little less serious, so hopefully he's okay, although I've not heard too much since the post-match interview. But I think when it comes down to the general performance, this was a pretty poor one, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, Cambridge played well. Their press was effective. But not for the first time this season. When we've played a team that's got an effective press, we've struggled to deal with it. I think I said it against Barnet. I've said it against a couple of other sides as well. If a team is organised and able to push against us, we really don't like it. And we lose our composure, and players that normally drop would normally drop a 70-80% sort of pass completion rate, we're dropping 50s and 60s, which is obviously far less consistent. And it made it tricky for us to advance up the pitch in an effective manner. With that being said, it took one moment of quality between Liam Kelly and Callum Patterson to open the scoring. Lovely little interception in the middle of the park, drive straight through the middle. Picked his pass well and a very good run from Patterson, and then obviously just an instinctive quick finish to catch the keeper unaware, which was great. Obviously gave us a lead, which we definitely needed. The second half we kind of got ourselves a little bit stuck. Cambridge kind of ramped up the pressure again, and well, I mean the key talking point there is the substitutions, because ultimately I think Liam Kelly had a fantastic performance, and within a minute of taking him off, we've gone and conceded. Now, it's a little bit of a catch-22 with this, because I know Warren was saying he wanted to rest Kelly, which is understandable because he's played a lot of minutes. But we only had one tactical stop left due to the 2 first-half injuries. So it was kind of a case of he had to make a sub then, because you had Kane Thompson-Sommers on a yellow card, and he'd committed about 3 fouls since and was looking destined to get sent off. So he had to sub Thompson-Sommers off, but his only opportunity to bring Kelly off if he wanted to was at the same time as Thompson-Sommers. Otherwise, Kelly was just playing for the rest of the game because we wouldn't have had any options to do anything else. It's just unfortunate that Crowley and Collar came on, and it took them probably a couple of minutes at least to settle into the game, and within probably about 50 seconds they'd conceded. It's a very scrappy one straight through the middle of the pitch, which we should have been able to clear away or retain possession at some point, which we eventually did in the defensive third, where as we were getting pushed back, and then Crowley went and passed it straight into the path of one of their players, and naturally it'd be Sully Kai to go and finish the move with a top corner finish, which again, frustrating. There's that buzzword again. It's not our strongest performance, and it's a tricky one. I don't want to be overly critical with a performance like this, because it's not easy to play the way we do consistently when we've got so many games back to back. But at the same time, if that's how we're supposed to play, we've got to be able to find a way of maintaining our levels. At the very least, it's good to see that the mentality didn't drop, especially after the injuries, because it could have done, and that could have been enough to break us, and it wasn't, which is good. But yeah, like I say, it's just frustrating. I'd like to see us be able to hold on in these sorts of positions. We sometimes can do it, but ultimately Cambridge were able to score with their only shot on target in the second half. But it's still nice to know that we've got the quality to at least compete in games, even if we're not playing at our absolute best. However, I do want to see us put that right now against a Harrogate side that are probably one of the weaker sides in the division. There are no easy games, but in my mind, if you are one of the teams competing towards the top, you have to beat the teams that are 17th and below. That's kind of the way the table's splitting at the minute. You've got your top 16, and then you've got your sort of 8 teams there at the bottom that aren't quite as strong. So this is a real opportunity for us to put things right, and an opportunity for some players to stake their claim for a spot in the team now that we've got a couple of players missing. So come on, you Dons.
As always, brilliant commentary, Luke. Really appreciate it.
It was a good point he made about the
You're frozen on me, Cole.
And the opportunity. Can you see me?
Go on, carry on.
Right, yeah, I said it's a good point he made about the opportunities that Warren had to make substitutions. When you're sitting, standing in the cowshed and you're watching the game, you don't really realise these things. But he has got this sort of conundrum, if you like, when he can and when he can't do it. And with a number of mitigating factors, like he said about KTS, running, very close to a red card sort of thing. Yeah. You sit and listen to what Luke's got to say there, and all of a sudden it makes sense. But I'm going to have to knock Luke half a point because he wasn't wearing the baseball cap tonight.
It wasn't, was it? Outrageous.
It was a shocking behaviour. But no, he makes some very valid points there, and can't argue with any of it. Well, I never can really.
No, I again, like as always, Luke makes some great comments. I mean, I watched the first half live, thanks to Mr. Danny Carroll, streaming over here, and I don't know what is he talking about. Anyway, and it was interesting. And I don't know.
I never said that.
Saying nothing. Do you make of it?
Carry on.
Well, but no, I mean, the first half was interesting. I like I said, it was just frustrating. I mean, again, coming back from the Notts County game, it was a tough blow to lose that game because, like Paul said, I didn't think we deserved to lose that. I thought we had a good enough energy to at least take a point out of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt a bit flat for me. I didn't think we were our best. I think to Luke's point, the way we play in a level of energy, that is
typical. Kai scored. I'm ever playing for us ever. So,
no, but it's the same with Notts County, right? Former players come back to haunt you, Cole. This is one of those things. But no, I just felt we're a little flat. And as Luke said, the energy and the way we play is really critical. And I mean, what do you think? The glut of games, the Tuesday, Saturday, and the Cup now. Do you feel that's going to be something that's going to be a factor against us from what you're seeing at the moment?
The way I feel at the moment, I mean, obviously, my preview for the game on Saturday is not out yet, but I've already written it. And I said on Saturday, I think I had my first doubts about where this team's going to end up at the end of the season. I was, as you know, I had quite a decent bet on us at the start of the season, and now I'm sort of questioning it. And I see some supercomputer, although I don't take much bloody notice of it, reckons we're not even going to get in the playoffs. And we certainly need to make. I mean, to me, over be critical, we beat Harrogate. We want to be going into those Christmas games with a decent win behind us, and we've got Swindon and Notts County. I mean, they don't get a lot bigger than that, and we cannot afford to come out of the Christmas period, down on our luck sort of thing. If we start letting a gap develop, all right, there's 4 months left. Yeah, I know, and a lot can happen. But, every point at any time of the season is crucial. The first points in the first game is just as important as the games now and at the end of the season.
So, if you get Sheila letting you know about the football scores tonight, is Aidan got the snooker scores? I have actually, Ollie. I can tell you now. Hold on.
should be watching the darts.
Joe O'Connor's winning. There we go.
Should be watching the darts.
Should be. Well, I know. And interestingly, they do now do dartboards and dart tops and everything in every German football club because they're all mad about it over here as well.
Oh, good.
Great to see.
Really
So might have to get Ollie something. And bring him
so
anyway, go on, carry on.
Yeah, like I say, my first doubts crept in after that game. Obviously, I feared the worst for the Mendes Lang. And you think to yourself, you know, that we're going to talk about it in a minute, and that the transfer window, Man United exit is 15 quid, ridiculous. You know, I just think we're not in a great position. You know, in the respects of we get one player back, the following week somebody else gets injured, and it's been like that all season. If you remember, we spoke to Paul last week, and he agreed with me when I said to him, I didn't think he played his first 11 all year.
No, I don't think so. I mean, my worry is, I mean, again, just so we can go on that supercomputer, Scott Lindsay should stop crunching numbers because he's bitter. Yeah. But, I mean, my worry, and the reason I say that as a bit of a joke is, this is what happened to us last year. We were doing okay, we got to December, and then it just fell off a cliff.
Yeah,
now, interesting, isn't it? Because again, injuries, similar story, similar thing happening again.
Yeah,
this is where, for me, the likes of Warney and his tactics and his nous and his coaching team and Rishi start to play a real critical factor because, you know, they need to start thinking about, okay, what's Plan B, which I'm sure they're doing already, and no doubt of that, and how they want to play. You know, can they play they want to play? Is that going to affect, you know, the health of the players? Is that going to cause more injuries?
Well, with the lack of Mendes Lang, you're going to have to say to yourself, Collins and Patterson are going to have to play every game. You can't rotate. Ogun, you know, for what good he is. Ogun's not. Yeah, I know. Ogun's not going to be back for a little while. You know, you're starting to get very thin up front. Yeah, very thin up front. You only want a suspension of sending off another injury, mate, and we could be right up it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting because at the moment, and I could be wrong, this is just me theorising, Cole, but with Lang out, it probably means until the window, you've got Nemain and Hepburn Murphy is really the two out-and-out wingers.
Well, we need Hepburn Murphy back. Apparently, you'd be ready to...
Oh, yeah, I know, he's still out injured, but that's the two. I say, obviously, he's not quite fit yet, but they're the two that you would think that's where Warren will go to once, you know, both are fit. But, you know, again, what happens next? Because, like you say, you're going to have to change the formation potentially.
You only want Collins and Patterson to get injured on Saturday, and all of a sudden we're deep in it. We're waist high in it.
I mean, for me though, and I don't know what your thoughts are, Cole. I think if we're going to have it, I hate to use the word injury crisis, and I don't think it's that bad. But if you're going to have an injury situation,
I think we've had one all season, mate.
I don't think we recovered from last season, to be quite honest, because it felt like...
I think we've had it. Well, I think we're in the middle of an injury crisis, and we haven't really ever been out of it.
No, and I think for me though, mate, it's... I mean, it sounds perverse to say, but if you're going to have a tough situation with big players going out, probably the best time to do is going to be right before a transfer window where you can look at loans, you can look at the market.
But then we go on to what they've said. Neil and Paul Warner have said it's going to be a quiet window. To me, that's huge.
It is huge.
Huge mistake because, you know, I mean, I jokingly mentioned somebody to him the other day, but we need a replacement striker. We need an alternative striker on the bench. We haven't. I don't think we've got an alternative striker on the bench now, have we?
Well, I mean, at the moment, depending if we're playing one up front or not, you've got obviously the rotation of Patterson, Collins. I use the term loosely, but you've got Hogan and Lecco are the other two that he's gone to in the past. I don't think they've either have cut it, to be honest.
I mean, you know, if I said to you, our options to, you know, keep our season going are Hogan and Lecco, you ain't going to be confident with that, are you? No, and I honestly think the players are going to look at that and think, Christ, we got Hogan and Lecco. Hogan and Lecco.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, but I mean, you know, I thought it showed a little bit in the game. So just to finish up on the game with Cambridge, I mean, again, I didn't see really a shot on target from either side, and
I thought we were awful. For 30 minutes in the second half,
Really
we
poor.
played hot potato football, mate. We couldn't get rid of it quick enough. Launching it down the field to nobody. It was awful.
It was. I mean, so Danny's really valid point here. He says, I think both, exactly that. Weren't able to get a shot on target. Couldn't agree more, Danny.
It was the only bit of quality in the game.
And it was.
Well,
it was. Ironically,
yeah.
Patterson goal, obviously. But I mean, it was tough. And it's like you said, where do you go from here? And I don't want to talk us down because I still think Warney will see us through. It might not be what we want to see by the end of the season. Who knows? But I still think we're going to be in the mix. I'm
less
not
confident today than I was last week.
Yeah, I still think we'll be in the mix. It might be harder without those players, and it all hinges on January for me, Cole. In a few weeks' time, look at that list. Paul's got some really hard decisions to make of like who's not up to the mustard. We know, I think you and I know a few of those that aren't up to the mustard. There's been some critique about Maguire, even though he's injured as well. And a few others, which ironically, how far the squad's come that we're critiquing players who were like really important to us a few seasons back.
We got Sanders back on Saturday, so that's a start, isn't it?
Which is a plus. But I mean, if you're Paul and Rishi and like Liam, you got to sit down and look at what's the injuries look like, what's the options, who have they been scouting, who can they bring in, and again, as Paul said, it's not cheap.
I'm not going to say they're going to regret making that comment, but I think they're going to go back on that comment. And if they don't, I think they're foolish.
Well, it's tempting fate, Cole. As soon as you say something like that, lo and behold, look what happens. I mean,
we've come too far to throw it away now.
I mean, I don't think that necessarily. I don't think they meant it in the fact of like it's going to be quite full stop. I think looking at it at that point, they probably thought probably not going to be too busy. Now things have happened. They know promotion is the aim, and if we have to spend and invest into it, we're going to have to make some tough decisions. We're going to have to deregister some players. We're going to have to bring a few people in.
Seriously, if we get to May and we've blown it, Warne could pay the penalty. He
could, but I think that would be a step too far in my book, Cole.
Well, it would, but you know what fans are like. With all the expectation and the promise and what have you.
Yeah,
I think if we get out of January and we haven't signed anybody credible on, who is a credible replacement for who we've lost, I think that to me that would be almost unforgivable.
Yeah, I'll put my colours to the mast right now. I mean, if the club ever did that, I think I would just not laugh in a funny way, but it would just show that there is no professionalism. You have to stick with the manager. You have to give them time.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, look what happened last season, Cole. You've got Williamson who left. You then had Lindsay in, out. You then had Ben Gladwin in, temporary, out.
It all about.
You then had Paul Walsh. We had 4 managers last season, and look at where we ended up. You cannot. Paul Warne. I said you cannot have that level of turnover and expect consistency. So
I agree. I agree. But
I think
Paul, forgetting that, right? This is a different scenario, and if he's got the resources, like we never really had the resources last year.
Yeah,
we've got the resources, and by that I mean, that.
Of course, no, goes without saying.
And I think if we don't pull that card out of our pocket and go, we're having him, we need to. We need to.
I think
too far to throw it away, mate.
No, but at the same time, like I say, whatever happens this season, and I still think we'll be in the mix. You've got to give Warney time. Yeah. You've got to. I mean, I think he's the right manager. I think he's built a good squad.
I mean, they came out this week and they said about attendances. They want to build a. You imagine, come May and they the playoffs.
Yeah.
You imagine that
exactly.
You imagine the fallout from that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. But at the same time, like I say, irrespective of what goes on this season, I'm still hopeful and I'm still confident that we'll do all right.
Well,
I don't want to tempt fate.
I'm confident, but I'm less confident than I was.
But as I say, irrespective, and I don't want to tempt fate, Warney's the man for me. Whatever happens.
I agree.
Got to give the guy time. I think giving the guy time, he's proven himself at other clubs to be successful. So, yeah, I don't think we're at that point right now. I think the squad together.
We're not. But I'm just giving you a scenario in May.
I understand just feeding back, but I think for me, squad mentality, squad quality and the actual togetherness and everything I'm seeing so far compared to last season when we were in this situation, I think it's far, far better than it was. So I think there's a togetherness.
Wasn't that long. Just remember, it wasn't that long ago that we were ridiculing Pete Winkleman for not signing Will Grigg when we were in the Championship.
Oh, I never forgot. Yeah, I never forgot.
And look, we've paid for it for donkeys. Well, not donkeys years, for several years. We've paid for it.
Yeah. £200,000. You'd have earned that back, Cole, with the rights of staying up.
And when we say 200,000, that's the difference between what the club wanted and what Pete Winkleman offered.
Yep, that's what it came down to. But anyway,
200 grand.
I think for me, so coming into that glut of games, there's a question I posed to you: Does it have an impact?
We lost a lot more than that, didn't we?
We did. But I mean, the glut of games that we've had, is it impacting? It can do, and and again, it puts a strain on the players, so it's not helping. But at the same time, this is where you need a squad of fit players. You need to be thinking about what have we got on the bench? What have we got in the first 11? Also, what have we got in the academy? Anyone coming through that could step up?
We haven't.
Just questions posed.
We haven't.
So that's the thing that you've got to assess. You've got to assess not just what's on the window in January, but it's the whole lot. What's that whole thing look like long term? And I think they started doing that, but I think there are things that still need to be done for sure.
I mean, I don't deny they're good players, but we've got several players within our team, within our makeup, if you like. We've barely seen them.
No, I know.
Thompson.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy they kept talking about Warney kept talking about last week? Can't remember.
Kane.
Kane Wilson. We haven't seen. I mean, I'm not saying get rid of them, but I'm saying we may have a lot of people in the squad, but there's two we haven't yet. Hogan, hardly seen him.
Waste of time anyway.
Waste of time. But you take it. Our two academy boys.
Tripp, was one of them. So
Tripp and Waller.
Yeah.
They're okay, but I'm afraid at the moment they're not. They need to go out on loan.
Probably to another League Two club, I would say, in January, personally, to see what to see how they step up. Who knows? Stranger things happen, right? But no, I'm not hitting the panic button, Cole. I'm not hitting the panic. I think that there's enough probably going on in the background that we're not all aware of right now to be planning for all of this. No doubt, obviously, with the Mendes-Lang thing, that's a huge blow. Of course it is. But
we tempted fate last week, and now look at us.
Yeah, but I think it all hinges on what happens in January for me, ins and outs. And as Paul said, we need to get some out.
What Matt said a minute ago.
Yeah, of course I can. So he said, I'm with Colin in the Cambridge game, along with the Nathaniel Mendes-Lang news today has made me rethink where we're going to finish the season. Matt, so you may have already put it in the comments, as I'll put some more up in a second, but where do you think we're going to end up would be interesting as well to hear from you. I'll give you some thoughts on my view in a minute. Harrogate this week is now a must-win game. I think all the games are must-win games to get us through the actual festive season. I think Harrogate's winnable. You say that you come a cropper quite easily, but I think the Swindon game on Boxing Day is going to be huge. If we can get anything out of that or a win, massive shot in the arm. Because the problem is if you start losing or start defaulting now, you start to cut yourself away from that top three.
Well, especially from teams around you or above you.
Exactly.
The gap starts forming.
It does.
6 pointers.
It does. Chris has said the injuries on the get my teeth in again. Sorry. The injury is on PW for starting him when he knew he had a knock. So Chris's thoughts is it's Warney's fault. What's your thoughts on that, Cole?
I don't know.
Do you think it's a fair point?
To be honest with you, I know NML took a knock, but I didn't think it was his hamstring. I think that's probably, but it could be related. I don't know.
It's one of those.
I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you, to form any opinion on it.
No, I mean, again, it's just one of those. I mean, he probably felt confident enough after speaking to Mendes-Lang.
The player, yeah.
And again, Mendes-Lang will know his body better than Warney. If he said he was fit, then he's got to go with it. He's too good a player to leave on the bench if he's telling the gaffer he's fit. Craig said, I know tonight is about Harrogate, but silver lining for Swindon is Drilling is
suspended. Second sending off of the season. Yeah,
it helps, Craig.
That's it. Well, it makes it a little bit more palatable. Yeah,
But the problem is, though, now we've lost Mendes Lang. It's that yin yang, right? Because it's like the advantage has almost
that's what I
disappeared.
say. One step forward, 2 steps back. That's what it feels like.
Exactly that, right? Stephen's got a comment on here as well. I'll go through a few comments. He said, did Paul Warren say they were trying to look at the minutes for Mendes? Does that mean he was carrying a slight injury? Well, I think, as we knew he had a knock, but I don't think they realised to the extent, Stephen, from my understanding anyway. But obviously, whatever's happened with that knock has obviously had a massively adverse effect, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's just the way these things go on. This time, we're on the wrong side of it. Colin said, who is down to the club for the FA Cup? Who is down to... It's a good question.
Who's it down to, the FA Cup prices? I think both clubs have got to agree. That is my...
Both clubs have got to agree, and it's down probably to the head of retail or ticketing, I would imagine, who would advise on that. And then I'm sure the club as a whole would have to agree. Someone at the club, can correct me on that, but I would imagine it's someone sort of in the ticketing team.
Mistake. Are we going to talk about that in a minute?
Yeah, we'll come on to that. We'll come on to that.
With us yet?
Sorry, no, not at the moment. But so we'll come on to the ticket prices. But it's definitely one to talk about, Colin, because I agree with you. It was a bit of a surprise, to be honest, particularly given the Oldham game. Okie dokie says, this time last year we were sitting in 8th place, 4 points off the Autos, with 1 and 2 games in hand. Teams above us, food for thought. No, I agree, 100%.
We're in a better position than last season. Sure, it's funny, but your expectations have gone up, haven't they?
I think for me, I'm not pushing the panic button. I just think it will hinge on what happens in January, because if we don't get anyone in and we've got long-term injuries, it will ultimately have a bigger impact, and then we will have to start looking at some of the youth team to get us through, which is not a situation you want to be in ultimately.
God forbid that happens.
Yeah, as I say, Cole, I think we'll get Louis out of retirement. But no, I mean, joking aside, I still think that there's going to be, and I could be wrong, probably 3 or 4 through the door if Paul can get the ones that he wants to get in.
I'm hoping for.
I'm pretty sure, but we shall see. But great comment, and as you exactly say, food for thought. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's one of those
Joe Tomlinson out for months.
Yeah,
Joe Tomlinson out for months.
Tomlinson's out for a while.
We haven't spoken about Joe for a couple of weeks.
No, we haven't.
There's another one down
the Absolutely right. But some big players that come out. And ironically, both him and Mendes Lang have just come into form at the right time and then got injured at the wrong time.
I'm going to finish this off, well, from my point of view.
Yep.
I think if we don't get anybody in to bring in as a credible replacements for Mendes Lang, a defender, a centre-half, a midfielder, well, like we said, a thug of a defensive midfielder, I think he's made a big mistake.
Yeah,
in my eyes, that'll be the biggest mistake he's made.
Yeah, so George said, I think you find MK keeping their cards close to their chest. 100%, George. I agree with 100% on that.
Maybe. I mean, I did say that the other week. Is that a bit of a deflection? I don't know.
Well, I mean, for me, it's that whole ruse, isn't it? If you sort of play it down and then, see what's going on in the background, we won't know all the ins and outs. But to George's point, I still think there's 3 or 4. I've had that gut feeling for about last month or so. As I said to you, Paul.
You're right. If we're sitting here at the end of January and we're saying nothing to report, I'm going to be amazed. I should be amazed. Amazed.
Yeah. We know for a fact at the moment.
Let me say it again, amazed.
Amazed. There we go. You heard it here first. Exclusive. But no, I mean, again, we know for a fact when Warney was on last week that, he's looking for a replacement for Tomlinson, given the injury that he's got at the moment. So that was one of the 3 or 4. So we know that's one that he's prioritising. I think the defensive midfield situation, a bit of a midfield enforcer, is absolutely one that he'll be looking at as well if he can bring the right person in, because you do need that, and it's something we're lacking. I think another striker for cover.
Callum Marshall.
I know you keep saying it, Cole. Who knows? If he signs him, you're going to get a kickback for it.
Listen, if we sign him, mate, it's all down to me.
Yeah, exactly right. But I think for me, and then other than that, I think a winger as well. So I think you've got a winger, you've got a wing back potentially, a midfielder, and a striker. That's my 4. That's where my head's at in terms of reinforcements in January. If it came to fruition, I wouldn't be surprised, but we'll see. As George says, I think there's a lot going on that we don't know about. Ashley said, I don't know if the change of formation helped us at half time. Yeah, very valid point, Ash. She said also.
Is it?
Harrogate is Sanders' last game of a suspension. Yes, it is actually. Well done.
He's not back.
He's not back. It's the Swindon game.
right.
I think it's the
All
Swindon
right,
game
okay.
he's back for.
I apologise.
Well remembered, Ash. Well remembered.
Well done.
Still a strange suspension as it was, as Warney talked about last week. Matt said, question for both of us. By the way, our guest is in the green room, so we will be with our guest shortly. Question for you both. Are you concerned at the trait that we've developed over the last month and a bit where we keep gifting teams goals out of nowhere and with their only shots on target? Cole, thoughts?
No, I'm not concerned because it's been longer than that. We've always what did I say to you last week? I said to you last week, whether I said this in private or whether I said it on the show. I think I might have said it to Paul Warren, actually. Every time we make a mistake, we seem to get punished. Every time.
Yeah.
The only time was when McGiveray dropped the ball on Saturday, and somehow or other we smuggled it away. I don't know how the hell. Ekpiteta cleared it off the line, and God knows what happened. But I mean,
I mean, it's a good question, Matt. By the way, and thanks for the question. Am I worried about it? This is League Two. Look, the reality is the players that we got are very good for League Two, but it's still League Two. These things happen. I think it comes down to ultimately concentration, as you've already mentioned, Cole. That's something I know Warney mentioned and touched on. He's really frustrated about. Like, it's things he sees on the training pitch versus what sometimes he sees on the pitch is wildly different. I'm not concerned too much. I think we've got the quality about us, Matt, to see us out through a majority of games this season. I think January, if we don't do any business, given the injuries we've got, maybe I'll start being a little bit more worried about how things will eke out. But I think so far this season we've managed to pull things out when we've been behind some games. Other games we've managed to get points out of maybe we wouldn't have done last season.
What people need to remember is they are League Two players for a reason.
Exactly that. Well, League One players, some of them as well.
Or League One players, League Two, League One.
And Patterson aside.
If Craig McGiveray never made a mistake, he'd be in goal for Man City.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd be in the Premiership.
Yeah.
If Mendes Lang scored 20 goals by now, he wouldn't be playing for us. He'd be gone at the bloody Championship.
Yeah, no, don't.
If nobody ever beat Ekpiteta or Sanders, they wouldn't be playing for us. They'd be gone.
Yeah, exactly.
They're League Two for a reason.
Do you know what? His name's gone right out of my head because I was about to say it. But do you remember the guy we signed from Derby who was a defender, then suddenly buggered off because he had a better offer from the Championship with Huddersfield?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Ash
Who was that? Ashley? Who was that?
Remind me, Ash. I can see his face and his name has just gone right out of my head. He'll remember. Danny said, I think our biggest issue is the wages and current squad is on. Who's going to want to sign Hogan? Will I go to match the current? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I know for a fact, Danny, that Hogan was put on, I think it was an 18-month contract and big money before Pete left. I don't know if that's big money now with the current squad, but yeah, I mean, if anyone's got any sense, they won't be renewing that contract. Hopefully.
I think we agree that since, probably before Louis retired, I think that the ceiling on wages was smashed out of sight.
100%.
Yeah.
He was the highest paid player a while back, Cole, and that was $6,000 a week, but that's going back a few seasons.
Yeah, that was a few seasons ago. He was on $6,000.
Exactly.
So,
times have changed, right? Matt said 5 managers last season. You couldn't count if you count Lewington. Yeah, of course, Matt. I forgot about the Lewington one. I just see him as the ever present. The most we've ever had is in one season. Yeah, and exactly why we ended up.
Most anybody's ever had, I think. Yeah. Five managers.
It was. But that's what I'm saying. So that's why I think we ended up the way we did. There was just an absolute tailspin of chaos going on.
Quite ironically, we're going to be talking about Harrogate in a minute or two with Neil.
Yeah.
And I think, as far as I know, and Neil will probably I think he's been their manager, Simon Weaver, is it?
That's it, Simon Weaver, yeah. I think it's
Simon Weaver.
Yeah.
I think he's been there since about 2009.
So it's been a fair old time and fair play to him. I don't know how often.
I mean, let's not forget his dad owns the club.
Irrespective, he still worked wonders.
It'd be a bit like Bobby Winkleman working for his dad.
Well, anyway, he did a good job. He's done a really good job, to be fair. I'm not going to knock him for it. We'll get through a few comments, and obviously we'll bring Nick in. But Ryan says attendance will not go up unless we get out of League Two. We'll come on to that a bit later,
Obviously.
Ryan. But yeah, agree with that comment. Matt says, think we've only kept 2 clean sheets out of the last 20 and a bit games as well.
I think it's higher than that, Matt. I think it's
pretty
higher
sure
than
it's
that.
higher than that, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't know how much higher than that. Ash will probably remind us, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than
4,
that.
5, or 6, I think. I'm not sure.
Something like that. I think, yeah, you're right. Lou QB1 says, last season we looked bad even when we were winning, though. Yes, we did. It was dreadful. This season's totally different. In my opinion, I'm still very confident. Yeah, 100% agree with you.
Confidence is high.
Yeah, no, I think we've come a long way. Even in a situation with the injuries we've had, I still think we've got
Anyway, let's not lose another guest.
Well, as I say, we're going to finish up with a few more comments. As I mentioned, Cole, then we'll bring in.
We're coming, Neil.
Hogan has more goals than Aaron Collins. Yeah, okay. And the Titanic still has one of the best safety records for it. The Iceberg as well, Chris, but we won't talk about that. What a joke of a comment.
Only one accident, wasn't it?
Yeah, what a joke of a comment. But anyway,
Newcastle goal. Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm presuming that means it's 1-0. But thanks for that, Sheila. Jeff has said playoffs, he thinks, for us.
Yeah. I'm starting to go there.
Thinks top 3 probably only just. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we end up third. Still, it's still autos is autos, but still a long way to go. For me, it's similar to Wilson, says Chris. He had a knock and a very bad injury. Yeah, I agree with that one. Matt has said, get a horrible feeling. We're now going to come up very short with the playoffs again.
Still
early days, Matt. Still early days.
Matt, I can't bear it.
Don't be down on it. Don't be down on it, Matt. We've got quality in the squad, and we've got
if we get in the playoffs, I'm going on holiday.
Yeah, we've got an owner that's willing to back us. We've got a manager that is a class above a lot of what we've seen over the last few seasons.
You can't buy anybody in May, mate.
No, we've got a squad who's got the quality compared to last season. It's stepped up again. So look, just keep the faith. Things will turn out as they will turn out, Matt. But I'm still think I'm pretty confident. Matt says Mendes Lang has always been slightly injury prone. Yeah, absolutely, completely agree with that. We've seen that a few times, but unfortunately for us, just as he's coming into a bit of form, really. But there we go. George, and there's a couple more comments, and we'll bring Nick in. But top 6 finish, win playoffs, all players back for final, get promoted at Wembley, and break the curse. Trophy. Yellow, smiling. Yeah, exactly.
That's like a sketch from the Blackadder. That is.
Yeah, I think that's the emoji, but it's not worked. But anyway,
when he said, "I hope there's a lot of cafes in Berlin because apparently by the time we get to Berlin, everybody's going to be dining out."
Exactly, I remember that one. I don't know. I mean, George, I still think we're going to be okay. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but like you, I think it's still too early to tell. And only a few more weeks of the transfer window. So anything can happen, as I say on Stingray. Clubs had to agree ticket prices. Matt, you're absolutely right. And then lastly, before we bring Nick in, it says, I know Shrewsbury are annoyed at Wolves for doing cheap tickets, so you're damned if you do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's one of those things, right? It's just odd. But I mean, £25 for a game. We'll park that there because we'll talk about that after we've done
against Oxford.
Yeah, I mean it's championship.
Anyway, come on.
That's exciting, is it? Anyways, bring Neil in.
Yeah.
Neil, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. Lovely to speak to you both again. And I've just got to point out from the outsider's point of view, some of them comments are really pessimistic, and all I can say is you don't know how lucky you are with what you've got.
Exactly that.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you see, it's the expectation. This is what we were talking about earlier, Neil. The expectations this season has risen up here. So, from the club and the betting and the people tipping us. So, therefore, everybody's sort of gone up a level,
Yeah, no, you can sense that in the comments, but It's not a bad place to be in where, people's expectations are rising. It's showing the sign of progress, I guess.
It is, Neil. I think for me, it's probably the fear of like the so nearly and being stuck in League Two, and I think everyone's thinking it was going to be like all right on the night, so to speak. And now there's a few injuries, people are getting nervous. But yeah, I mean, like put it in context: the squad we had this season compared to last season, the owners we've now got, the manager we've now got, irrespective of how things play out, I still think we'll do all right. I mean,
we're
still early days. Still early days.
For the club all over, from the club shop to the training facilities, to the stadium, to the squad, to the manager, everything's gone. The owner, everything's gone up massive, And like I said, expectations have grown accordingly, There
exactly.
you go.
Exactly.
It's like a millstone round our neck, Neil.
Exactly, right? Oh, what it's like to have money for the first time ever and not know what to do with it. But I say, Neil, talk to us. I mean, to say, like, from a Harrogate standpoint, obviously we'll come on to the manager and sort of bits and pieces, but how's things been for you, sort of that pre-season, that close season, the ins, the outs, the performances so far? You know, if you're giving yourself, I suppose, a headmaster scorecard, what would it be? And, are you happy so far?
And before you comment,
Yes.
I've just read your view from the other side that is going to be published tomorrow on our website.
Yes.
And you made me chuckle.
Wow.
But it was just the way you worded some of the things. But it also made me feel, in a way, a little bit guilty that we've, like you were saying, our prospects are up here, and you're, fighting for your lives, if you like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, as my kind of words reflected, I think at the start of the season, before it started off, pre-season was a while ago now, but I think what was the standout factor is we couldn't score goals in pre-season, and a lot of the games are against non-league clubs. And I think if you look at our goal scoring tally this season, we've scored less than half of what you've scored. We're not the lowest scorers, but we're towards the bottom of that league. I looked at the signings at the start of the season. We got Mason Bennett in. He was perhaps our star signing previously of Derby, of Millwall, Burton, I think it was. So it looked like in pre-season, we'd kind of noticed that ability to score was pretty awful. So we brought in a lad who was pretty prolific in non-league. And he'd filled some of the holes. And the other one maybe I should bring in is Tom Bradbury, a centre half from Cheltenham Town, who scored against us last season. So we knew he was a decent player. So yeah, at the start of the season, I was pretty buoyant, and I was thinking that we could kind of eclipse what we'd done in the 23-24 season when we finished in 13th.
Yeah.
However, Jesus, I mean, the start of the season wasn't so bad. I mean, I think we drew 3-3 against Grimsby. We drew 1-1 against Cambridge. There was some 1-0. We beat Gillingham 1-0, which is probably unexpected. But you hit the back end of September, and it's just properly nosedived. I can't remember the figures I put in my text, but it's something like we've scored 3 points from our last available 30. We've not won a game since the end of September.
Well, you've lost your last 5 at home, haven't you?
Well, yeah, our home form is terrible. Our squad, which never was meaty or big at any stage, has been thoroughly depleted. We played Notts County the other month.
Players.
2 outfield players, 3 including the keeper. That's all we could field on the bench.
Got a credible draw though, didn't you?
We did get a credible draw, and the penalty they got was totally iffy, and we even got a formal apology from the FA for that. I think all in all, to summarise, it's.
Do you feel better for that apology though?
Don't do our balls, no.
What a load of bollocks, isn't it?
What a load of codswallop. What a load of. And again, if I'm being brutally honest with you, they could have had 3 legitimate penalties before that. The one they actually gave was the one that was dodgy. So I mean,
was the least of the 3.
Exactly. But so to your question, it's been a bloody hard watch. It's been the crowd now. I mean, Harrogate crowd generally. I can say this because I'm not from there, but it's a fairly affluent, well-to-do area of the country. And the crowd generally are well behaved, and they're all very civil and cordial. But the boos are starting to come out now.
Gathered that.
And you look at the results, you look at the table, you look at some of the. We lost 3-0 at home against Newport County, which
I know that is concerning.
That is concerning. And other teams that we feel that are maybe around our level, like, don't want to get lynched for this, but like Oldham's or Accrington's. They're not a million miles away from us, and they totally schooled us. So it's worrying. It's worrying, but something inside me tells me we're just about to turn a corner, and it might have just started with that away point at Cheltenham Town last Saturday.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, question, Neil, for you, and again, maybe controversial, but we'll come on to the manager in a minute, and obviously the length of service has been there. But do you think maybe now is the time for the change? And if so, do you think the owner will let that happen? More importantly,
Will he sack his son?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the big question. So, I mean, I think it's only fair that I point out, and it is a bit cheesy, his long tenure, the fact that he has got us up from, League North, non-league, up to national level. And it's not only has he just got us into League Two, I've already referenced the fact he got us up into 13th. We've just sneaked out of the relegation places, but that's the first time in 5.5 years we've been in the relegation zone. So this kind of tells me that he's got something. But there's a but here. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should also add in the injury crisis certainly hasn't helped either.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But you have got a few, haven't you?
Yeah, but there's definitely a but here. The fact that there's seemingly an unwillingness for him to change what he does. He leaves his subs very late. His lineup is always very predictable. And then there's just some of the common sense things. Like we played Walsall a few weeks ago, who were totally a class above. And you've got maybe Jack Muldoon up front, who might be, 5'9", and you've got Aidan Flint and the other lad next to him are like giants. And surprise, surprise, they did this long ball up, and they never won nothing, never even came close. And then there just seemed to be no adaptation to the opposition at all. So that's not going in his favour. His unwillingness to change things and his style of play, it's getting lots of boos. To your point about can he stay, would Dad fire him? I think history tells us that Weaver can often have a good January window. He's done it in last season. He brought in Fox and who else did he bring in? Bryn Morris, and that was really successful. I think it was clear that we lacked physicality and strength in the middle of the park. He saw that. He got 2 players to fill those holes perfectly, and things were a lot better. I personally think his dad will give him a chance to January. Beyond that, depending on how far we are from the bottom, no.
Neil, I'm going to tell you. Sorry, Aidan. Neil, I'm going to tell you something you probably don't know. Bryn Morris.
Yes.
Scored a hat-trick against us last season. His only ever hat-trick. In fact, the only 3 goals he scored for Newport County.
Yeah. He's got a foot like a tractor, hasn't he? You can fair whack it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he scored 3 goals against us, mate.
But I wouldn't worry about that because he's injured.
Oh, is he?
He's injured, yeah. Go on to the injury crisis. But no, I think just to finish up on that comment, Neil, and this is the dynamic at play, isn't it? Family loyalty versus business acumen is, given what could happen if it continues on. I hope it doesn't for you, obviously long term, and everything sees itself out. But do you think it comes to I suppose at play that relationship of father and son would override the success of football club, or do you think actually there'd become a point where relegation's a real possibility here? I need to be bold. I need to do the right thing.
I don't know. I wouldn't like to be around that Christmas table, or rather, I probably would like to be around that Christmas table. But I think ultimately, I don't think his dad would push him. I think the only thing that would kind of, if it just became untenable for his well-being, for his mental health, there's only so long you can be booed for and ridiculed, and it's just going to drag the lad down. And I think if his dad sees him in that kind of situation, he might kind of come to some kind of agreement whereby he stands aside.
Right. You've lost your top scorer. You've lost your top scorer, Stephen Duke McKenna.
Yes.
Well, the metatarsal, broken metatarsal. That's going to be a big loss for you again, isn't it? Alongside Bryn.
It is. I mean,
and all the others.
I know the list is long. So yeah, Duke McKenna, good Scouts lad. He came on at half time as a sub in the game before Cheltenham. I think he was on the park for about 6 minutes. And someone stood on top of his foot, and now he's out for 12 weeks. He's a huge loss. And I mean, the other kind of creative player who plays on the other side of the park from him, Ellis Taylor, that we got from Sunderland. He's injured. He's out for 12 weeks as well. And these are ordinarily starters. Simple as that. They start every game that they're fit and they're out. Bryn Morris, another one, injured. I could be here all day talking about our injury crisis.
Well, we've got a bit of an injury crisis. You may have heard us talking. I don't know what time. We lost Nathaniel Mendes-Lang
Yeah.
He's out with he's having an operation. He's either had it or he's going to be. It's imminent. We lost Lawrence Maguire as well. We've lost various players. There's 2 or 3 players we've only seen that we signed on in the summer, and we've only seen for one game. We've only just got Aaron Collins back. So he got injured in the first game of the season. He's now back, thankfully. But we are, I wouldn't say we're in a desperate situation, but we're pretty slim pickings, if what we've got left, if any of those get injured.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think neither of our clubs are unique in that respect, in that you get injuries.
No.
I just think, I can certainly speak on behalf of Harrogate in that when you're only fielding 2 outfield players on the bench, that's extreme. It really is extreme. I've never known anything like it. And unfortunately, a lot of them, they're not little injuries. They're going to be out for chunks of time. So, I think it's going to be so instrumental for Harrogate. And to be honest, hearing what you've said for MK Dons as well in January, who you can get to fill those gaps.
Yeah, well, we've got the money. It's whether we decide to use it or not. You probably know we've got a billionaire owner now, which is quite a unique situation for us. I mean, normally in January, we were more frightened about who we were going to sell than who we were going to buy, Tell me, what sort of financial situation is Harrogate at?
Well, Mr. Weaver, Irving Weaver, he's not short of a quid or two, but is he a billionaire? No. I think if you just look behind, just not talk about the chairman for a moment, the owner, the club itself, the ground, I think on Wikipedia it says 5,000, but I've never really known it any more full than a bit over 4,000. Right. So we haven't really got the infrastructure to build massive amounts of money through gate revenue either. Right. So Mr. Weaver is totally integral to the future of Harrogate Town. And the other thing that crosses my mind is, he's no spring chicken, Mr. Weaver, Irving Weaver. If his son goes, if indeed that relationship kind of with Simon and the club ends, would that be Dad's cue to say, "My lad's not there anymore. Enough's enough. I'm gonna bugger off."
Yeah, always a worry, mate. Well, I must admit, our end, we've, like I say, we've got this new owner now, and we sort of worry if he doesn't get success relatively quickly, he could get bored with it.
Yeah, of course he will.
And very often, as you know, that happens in football, where you see an owner, he's pumped God knows how many £1 million into it, got nowhere, and think, stop that,
Yeah. This toy's not as much fun as I thought it would be.
Yeah, basically withdrawn all goodwill and his money, and it's a right pain in the arse.
Yeah.
So, Saturday. How do you see it going, mate?
Well, you just got to look back through our fixtures together in League Two since we've been. I don't know. I think we played each other 3-4 times, maybe.
4 times.
4 times. I think that the last 3 we got hammered. I can't remember. Like 5-3, 5-1, and a something else. 2-1 maybe. I seem to remember
you beat us at our place in our first ever meeting in 23-24.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. We did. You're right. But yeah, that feels like a distant memory now. But I think the last 3 games, I think you've won, and I seem to remember you scored 5 past this. On
both
2
times
occasions.
at your place.
Yeah, at our place. So, the omens aren't particularly good in that respect if you look back through history. I think if you look at our injury crisis, if you look back at our recent track record of 3 points out of 10 games, no wins since the end of September, the bookies have got us as something like 4.5 to 1 to win the game.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I looked.
No. So, nothing really I'm saying there is going in our favour at all. The fact that we're playing you, who you've got a lot of really decent players in there. Admittedly, you're missing Mendes Lang, which I don't wish the lad ill, but the fact he's missing the game is no bad thing for us. So I alluded to earlier on the fact that I think we're starting to turn a corner. even crap teams come good every now and then, and we are due it. We are overdue it.
And so, you know as well as I do how unpredictable this division is.
Totally. And again, some of the games I referenced before, the fact that we beat Gillingham away, and that was a bit of a shock. And when Grimsby were flying high, we got some points off them. So I know it seems unlikely, and there's probably an element of heart ruling head here, but I think our plucky northern grit will be sufficient for you southern softies. And I think when you rock up, you're going to be so dumbstruck by the cold and the grimness of the north. You'll be frozen.
Listen, mate, we'll all be in Betty's tea room.
Betty's tea room. That's it.
Well, yeah. Well, if you go up that way, you've got to go into Betty's anyway. So, yeah, I reckon it'll be a draw. I reckon it'll be a hard-fought draw.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like Stephen, Neil. Sorry, Stephen. I just read Stephen's comment. Neil's put his comment. There's going to be a hard-fought draw. Those people at home, come on, put your predictions up while we're talking. Aidan, what do you reckon?
I think for me, I mean, it's going to be. It's never an easy place to go. I mean,
you better have a drink, Neil.
That's not cheap, mate. I'll tell you that right now.
No, exactly. But I think to Neil's point, look, you know, when you're in a poor run, you're fighting for your life. You know that's going to have a factor. And historically, Cole, we've always struggled against the teams at the bottom of the league, and the teams that are fighting for their lives. So it's a small pitch. I think we've got the right quality to win this one.
What a load of waffle. Come on, spit it out, man.
No, I mean, that said, on balance, I can see this playing out as a draw, probably a 1-1 or a 2-2.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
You weren't.
You'll
probably expect what I'm going to say.
I can expect what you're going to say, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you my reasoning for it. I mean, again, the Notts County game 3-2, which we should have got something through, and we lost.
Should have won it.
The game this weekend, just going against Cambridge 1-1, we could have had that sewn up, and we just didn't. You know, we were awful in front of goal, and I just feel that, you know, we need to dig ourselves out of that. But I can see the team in a situation where they just won't want to lose the game. And maybe that'll preoccupy because we've got Swindon coming up Boxing Day, so it's gonna be a tough one. I mean, if we do win, it'll be a close run thing, but my gut just tells me a draw.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, Cole, you're 5-0 predictions.
Come on then.
Well, I've been saying for a number of weeks now, as you know, sooner or later we're going to give someone a bloody good hiding. I really think it's gonna. I really think that sooner or later it's gonna. I mean, you know what's been happening. You know, with our finishing, they've been clearing it off the line. It's been, you know, something or other's happening. History behind us. Now I know we haven't got Mendes, but I think we're going to win this relatively comfortable. And I don't rule out 5 goals either. How about that?
Oh, blimey. Well, I think your loss of Mendes, I think that's going to disrupt your flow. I really do. I think what I saw against Cheltenham Town last week, whilst it wasn't great, the number one positive I came away with was the team were tenacious, and there was a togetherness, and they are, as a unit, fighting for Weaver. I think that's clear. I think we might try and shut up shop and kind of not necessarily go for the win, but just go for the point. Right. I can see our formation setting up for that. But no, I've just got this sneaking suspicion it's going to be a close fought thing. And sorry, the other thing I should really mention is our goalkeeper, Belly.
Yeah, good keeper.
He is top notch. That's not just kind of stroking his ego because he's a Harrogate player. I think in the league, he's arguably our only player who would potentially get in the team of the league.
Right. Yeah. I used to be a keeper myself. You know, I don't know if you've ever heard that
every single week. Well, there's a question on the screen, Neil, for you, and it's again saying, seeing as you're at the wrong end of the table, what are your thoughts on promoting more than 2 teams to the National League?
I hate this question. I hate this question.
Well, as a team that's come up from the National League as well.
Exactly. And if I'm in that league, I obviously want it to be 3. And when you are where we are, you want it to be 2.
Me too, yeah.
Now, again, I'm trying to look at this impartially. My personal point of view, and don't think this is a loaded answer, I'm quite happy with the way it is. And I'm quite happy with the way it is because I think to be a league club, you've got to really graft and you've got to be the best of the best. So for that reason, I think you've got to earn it. 3 opens the door too wide for me. And I think also what that might do is you can a relatively ropey club can go through a good run and sneak into that 3rd position.
Oh yeah, it happens all the
Then
while,
they
mate.
go into League 2, which kind of dilutes the quality of League 2. But also for that particular club, it's not going to be sustainable for some clubs to come up and survive in League 2 without just getting an absolute battering every week. Harrogate have just about managed it for 5.5
Do you
years.
think York City would survive?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean they look a pretty decent outfit.
They look a pretty decent outfit, and they're getting good crowds as well. They're a well-supported club. They are the natural rival of Harrogate Town.
Yeah, well, I can imagine,
yeah, geographically, but I think they do just fine. And again, history tells us they've had time in the league before and done pretty well for themselves.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you, Neil? Anyway,
I am in Skipton in North Yorkshire, the gateway to the Dales.
Oh right, okay.
But my son was born in Harrogate, so that's the connection.
Oh right, okay.
Question for you, Colin. Sorry, random curveball, but Ryan wants to how many clean sheets you kept?
I played from 16 to 44.
And he conceded 352,000 goals in that time. No, never mind.
No, I've done all right. I don't know how many. But I played a lot of games. I know that.
No, but no. I mean, to Neil, to your point, I think again, your keeper, the Mendes Lang injury, it's the other factors that come into play for me on this one. I'd say a lot of people have gone for either a draw or a tight win, 2-0, 2-1. Cole,
I haven't.
The only person who's with you on this is Ash, who said 5-2 Dons.
I think I've got a feeling that a few players that haven't really shined for us this season, and a couple of players one player that's come back, I think they are. Yeah, I think they're going to enjoy themselves.
Okay. Interesting. So, I mean, Neil, from your perspective, looking at the squad, and you've talked about the players that we've got. If there was any one player that you could take, who would it be and why?
Mendes Lang.
Not now, not with his groin. I've always, I think I saw last time Gilby in the midfield. I think he's got a bit of something about him. I don't profess to be an MK Dons expert, but I just remember last time he stood out. He just looked comfortable on the ball, and he just for the midfielder, he seemed like a good all rounder. Peterson up front, Orford at the back. They're probably some of the more standout players.
Yeah.
But I can answer the question to a degree. Don't profess to be an expert at all on MK Dons at all.
Yeah, Danny Carroll, we don't need any more comments like that.
Well, can I just say, sorry, Neil, was on the comments. There was some prats that came on, decided to put some really foul, defamatory stuff on. They have been blocked, so they won't be getting through anymore. But
really?
Yeah, it just goes to show, Cole, some people are just pathetic, to be quite honest. But there we are. We won't be putting stuff up that's not related, and certainly not crass and disgusting language like that idiot decided to put up. Anyway, sorry.
The best part of it is you won't know about this because he's probably gone, has he?
Who knows? Who cares, to be honest? Grant says 3-1 Collins to score 2. There you go. Kerry Ann has gone 4-1.
See, Kerry Ann's...
He's waving, Kerry Ann. He's waving. And Sheila said Liam Kelly to get another goal.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Sheila. Yeah. So it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I think Kerry Ann's just finished her second 4-pack. I think she that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. Nothing but praise.
No, and again, Neil, obviously, given the situation where you are at the moment, where do you see? We're kind of almost at the halfway mark of the season, pretty much. But where do you see sort of South playing out from a Harrogate perspective? Do you see and
what sort of style do you play as well?
Okay, so what sort of style do we play? We traditionally play very much 4 at the back, 2 holding midfield, then a 3-1. Variants of that, with sometimes it goes into a back 5, but traditionally it's 4 at the back, 2 holding midfielders, a 3 and a 1. Usually the striker up front is pretty damn isolated. We use the wings quite a lot, or at least we did when we had personnel that could fulfill that role. Everything I'm saying now is subject to actually who can walk onto the field and who's not laid up on a stretcher at the moment. But yeah, theoretically, we tend to use the wings. We can go long. There's often a ball from kind of right back through to left wing. That's a fairly common tactic. But I think essentially we generally let teams come onto us.
Right.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if your ball possession will be something silly like 2/3, 65%. And then when you come onto us, then we'll break. So we've got speed. They're a fit bunch of lads, I think is fair to say as well. There'll be lots of pressing. You won't have much time on the ball. Certainly the centre halves won't. So that will be the tactic. And I'm pretty secure in saying that because the tactics very rarely deviate from that plan.
Right. So we'll be ready for you.
Now that I've told you all the tricks of the trade, obviously, I mean, but no, you could be ready. But
right, what I do, Neil, before every show is I do a little bit of research and I write down what I think, and I put down here likely to play a 4-2-3-1 formation. They seem to play a lot of long stuff after playing possession football in their own half. Is that fair?
So I think that's absolutely fair. And there's a couple of things that's frustrating about that. We've had periods in the first half of game, I think it was in November, where we kept taking a 1-0 lead. Fleetwood away I went to. Crewe, we took a 1-0 lead. I think every game in that season, in that month, we took a 1-0 lead. First half, really pretty, really good passing, generally in our own half. And then second half, it just goes tits up. We start playing this really long ball. And, you know, it wouldn't be so bad if you had Peter Crouch up front or you had somebody who can win the knockdown, whether the defender won it or the striker. The pain in the arse about it is we keep persisting with this long ball to a short arse striker. Yeah. And even if he does win it, there's no one to knock it down to.
We've had that, mate. We've had that before. God, it's the most frustrating
or the short
thing.
Corners, Cole. Do you remember the
short corners? You do short corners?
Short corners, yeah.
We generally don't do short corners. No, we don't.
We had a season last season where Scott Lindsay was in charge, and every time we got a corner, you might as well have given it their goalkeeper. You know, we would rather have had a throw in than a shot.
Yeah, but it was that whole Blackadder goes forth. If we do what we've always done, they'll be surprised.
Yeah,
it was dreadful. It was dreadful. But no, I mean, you know, in terms of, I think personally, from what I've seen Harrogate, you know, how things, again, to your point, you know, haven't played out where you'd like to see. I actually thought you'd be a lot higher than where you were this season, to be quite honest. That said, I think with similar boat to where we were last season with the injuries, I think that's what's cost you a lot. That said, I think if some of those players come back, because I do rate the squad, I think it's like you say, you've alluded to, a very fit and physical squad. I mean, you know, is there a gamble for the playoffs towards the end of the season? Possibly. It's still quite tight. I think if you can get on a run, anything's possible, to be honest. And again, Harrogate over the last few seasons have really impressed me in terms of where they've come from. I think the one that's sort of doing it this season is Bromley. So again, someone that's a bit of a similar ilk to Harrogate, but a very determined side. So yeah, I mean, I generally wish you luck, and like I say,
thank you.
I do feel that you'll be fine by the end of the season. I can't see you being down the bottom, to be quite honest.
Neil, before we let you go, can I ask you, because I mean, I do keep an eye on a little bit of non-league stuff. You signed a couple of lads from Maidenhead, Reece Smith and Sean McCloskey.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I got a mate that's a Maidenhead fan, and he was always raving about them. He was a bit gutted they went. And
yeah, I think we've actually got three. I think Zico Azari, the right back, was signed from that club the season before. But to the two lads you mentioned, Smith has played pretty much every game.
He's a winger, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. You know, hairband, long hair. He's got good feet. He's quick. He's brave. He will try and get past someone. He's the lad who's going to unlock a door in a world where there's not many others like him in the Harrogate team that are fit at the moment. Sean McCloskey up front, big, strong, quick lad. He's been injured, but what I will say is the crowd at Cheltenham in the last game were chanting for him to come on at half time. He's a real fan's favourite. Partly skill, but partly endeavour. He really puts it in, but unfortunately, Weaver waited and waited and waited, and he did bring him on eventually, but a little bit too late for him to have a full impact on the game.
Still a bit rusty.
Well, you know what? He's only going to get match sharp if he gets some minutes, and I think what was happening before that wasn't working. So let give the lad some game time. But I'm not entirely convinced he's going to start against MK Dons, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's given a good half an hour at the end, depending on how things go. Anyway.
All right. Neil, there was a question for you that came up on the screen.
I'll put it back up. I think we know the answer, to be honest. Okie dokies put on there. Have you got padded seats at Harrogate? If not, I'm not coming, apparently.
Well, that's what I kind of said about the old Southern softy thing.
No, right.
If that's
Neil.
I think for the away fans, there is there's a standing section, and then you've got the seated bit with the plastic seats. So no, bring your own padded cushion.
Yeah, bring your own cushions. From your sofa, if you like a nice one. But,
no. we got bloody good pies though up there.
They're great.
Do you know? This was a few years ago now. We were actually, me and my missus were up in York for the weekend, and I noticed that Harrogate Town were at home one night, and I had never been to Harrogate, and I wanted to cross it off the list. And we went down there. We went in the home end. I never stood behind the goal, and I stood in the corner of the stand to the left. I'm not sure what it was called, but I was well impressed with the food. The food was cracking.
Food's good. Food is good. There's no getting away from that. I think I saw a question or a comment on the bottom about there isn't a car park. Did it say?
That's what. Yeah, I think Danny's coming back to Okie Doki's comments. The padded seats have not even got a car park. Apparently.
I mean, what kind of that's not a measure of a club whether it's got a car park. We've got a bloody big hospital next to the ground. That's why there's no car park.
Yeah, completely. Completely.
We'll ban that bloke.
No, not at all, Danny. It's all good.
Car park.
I know, right? We've had it too good.
Can't win, mate, can you?
Can't win there.
So, do you know what? As a serious point to raise on that, as an away fan, where would you suggest people who are driving would park? Is there a better place
on the street?
This is all top secret information.
I parked in the doctor's car park across the road. That's where I parked.
You can run the risk of that. I think what I would say is don't park by the hospital because it's definitely actively patrolled by people sticking parking stickers on you. So I definitely wouldn't run the risk of that, even of a night game. Definitely don't do that. But like I said, I'm from Skipton, so I don't know Harrogate particularly well, but I can certainly tell you Weatherby Road, where the ground is. If you're heading out of town, go past the ground. Towards a pub that the name eludes me. If you head towards that pub, which it must be 6-7 minute walk away from the ground, there's plenty of off-street parking there, and there's never any bother. I don't want to jinx anything, but it's far too posh, and we're probably far too outnumbered for there to be any bother anyway. But don't worry about that.
So if you get a parking ticket, send it to us, and we'll forward it on to Neil.
Exactly. Yeah, I can sort that out. I've got all the revenue from my massive car park, haven't I? And hiring out my padded seat cushions.
Well, exactly. But no, Danny said I did a park on the drive and about a 5-minute walk. So I know there's a few of those going as well. But no, thank you, Neil. That's really helpful, particularly for anyone that's a first timer ticking off the ground as well, just to sort of give a bit of context as to where's best to park.
Yeah, and I think if anybody's going by public transport, you can get the train to Harrogate, and again, it's highly walkable with a couple of nice pubs on the way from the train station to the ground. So
but it's all uphill, Neil.
It's downhill on the way back home, though.
Yeah, exactly. On the way back, which is good, right? You can roll in the pub.
Yeah. Okay. Neil, thanks very much for coming on again. It's been great to see you. I'll extend the invitation. You want to come back on when you're over at our place?
That would be lovely. I think it's March or April time.
I think it's April.
Well,
Pretty sure it's April.
We're going to have a better idea of where we both are by then, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope we're both in a better position than we are now.
Well, indeed. Neil, you've been absolutely fantastic, mate. Good luck for the rest of the season. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you.
Like,
And we'll see you later on in the season.
Merry Christmas
All
and
the
safe
best, Neil.
journey to everyone coming up to Yorkshire.
Thanks again, Neil. You take
Thanks
care.
very much, mate. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Great guy. Really like Neil.
No. Hey?
That's a great guy. I always like. So Neil,
No, he's
a good lad.
No,
Good lad.
we are blessed, mate. We're blessed.
Yeah,
We're
and
decent people.
I will say, as I don't want to give it airtime, Cole, but if you're going to type stupid comments about the royal family and some disgusting things, all I've got to say
What?
is you've got no time on this air show. You're not going to get any airtime. So best of luck.
You're going to tell me about that
Jog
off
on.
air?
Yeah, jog on. It was disgusting. Anyway, this is about MK
What?
Dons.
The royal family?
Yeah, it's not worth. I said I don't want to give it airtime,
What
Cole.
was-
Don't want to give it airtime.
Yeah, but what was, I don't even know what this
Doesn't
significance
matter. Say
is between
they've been banned. I don't want to give it airtime, but like I say, this
Okay.
show is about fans talking about all things MK Dons. If you want to talk about something like that, mate, I suggest you go and see a psychiatrist. Anyway, Cole, back to business. So you think we're going to get a 5 or 6 goal thriller?
I got a feeling we're going to score a few. I've been saying that we're going to give someone a bloody good hammering. They're struggling with injuries. I think even without Mendes, I keep saying Mendes, but Mendes Lang, I still think we've got enough, mate, to give them a bloody great game. Yeah, and score a few. If we score early, bloody hell, they're going to have to come out. To me, this game hinges on how long they can keep us out for.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree to that extent.
If they frustrate us, mate, if they frustrate us, it could be totally different to the scenario I'm painting.
My worry, it's not really a worry, but my worry is playing away from home is tight pitch. They have got a very physically fit, well-drilled team.
Yeah,
Hasn't worked out, granted, this season, but you look at their position, it does not belie the squad that they've got. It's not a Newport County situation. But
at the end of the day, mate, somebody's got to be down the bottom of the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree.
Last season, it was us.
Yeah.
Last season, we were struggling.
Don't disagree.
Somebody's, and we know this league. We know.
We do, and anyone can beat
Crazy.
anyone.
Crazy.
Anyone can beat anyone. And like I say, if we win, I wouldn't be overly surprised. But I just got this feeling that it's just going to be another tough day at the office. And ironically, then I think we'll win against Swindon. But what do I know?
Well, I might disagree with
you.
Exactly.
There we go. That's why we're on this show, Cole. That's why we're on that show. But no, good.
Where are we going to go now? Where are we heading now?
I think we're going back to the FA Cup piece because obviously we'll talk about prices. So again, I'll drop your comments in on this one. But
can we do team talk in a minute?
We'll do that after the Facebook bit, and I'll let you go for a break here, a comfort break, Cole.
Comfort break, yeah. Okay.
But,
yeah, 25 quid. 25 quid.
What's your thoughts?
Bloody ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think, as you say,
if that had been Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham, any team for the Prem, yeah, I could have understood it. But a lowly team in the Championship, who, let's be honest, they're strong. I still think they'll bring a few. They'll fancy their chances. But I think there's a strong danger they could outnumber us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I get the fact, obviously, both teams have to agree on a price. So maybe it was Oxford pushing for that a little bit. Who knows? I mean, some of the ticket prices outside of the Cup. I mean, again, I use Coventry as a great example. They've been charging 40 quid for a game this weekend for away fans. So it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's football, right? It shouldn't be charged to that level of degree. But yeah, I mean, again, this goes hand in hand for me personally with that comment from the club about wanting to push to raise attendances. Now, my view,
that does not achieve this.
My view, and this is only my view, and people can disagree, and totally entitled to. I feel the challenge we've always had, and I say this from someone who's been there from year dot onwards, but is you are geographically challenged in the fact that you're located on a quick run into London. You've got a lot of London teams that are in the Premier League. And I say this from a Wimbledon standpoint. That's why we had struggles with crowds and obviously where the relocations and all that ultimately came from. We fell out the Premier League and attendances dropped because you can walk down the road and watch Premier League football for what was a reasonable price. So I think, a lot of the people that are in Milton Keynes catchment area are overspill historically from London. There's a lot of people that have got attachment to London clubs, number of different clubs. You have got to get people a reason to come. And then there's 3 things that you could be doing if you're really serious about this. Firstly, every single new build, and I've said it for years, get a ticket in the welcome pack. Welcome them to the area. Get them down the
I've been
stadium.
saying that for years.
For years. Secondly, the cornerstone bedrock businesses in Milton Keynes, the likes of Santander has been mentioned. Xero's another one, the accountancy firm. The list goes on. Go and do what MK Lightning do. Get into their businesses, put up a stand, offer tickets, be there, be present. It astounds me, Colin. It astounds me. Well, we have done it for and again, I'm not going to pick at Fahad for this, but for years we've neglected that. For years. And thirdly,
well,
it's the Bradford.
If you remember,
yeah.
If you remember that new build scenario, we put that to the club, and they were going, "That's a good idea. That's a good idea," and nobody done anything about it.
And then I said my last point on that, and I'll carry on. But you need to make it cheap enough for people's interest to be whet their appetite. Now look at Bradford. Bradford dropped their prices to stupid levels. They now have almost a full house at every game. You start low, you build it up. If you think £25 for a League Two game may be reasonable in a London catchment area, when we have struggled for 20 years to increase the crowd outside of the younger generation, because the younger generation is building, and again, Don's Action and others have done some fantastic work to do that. That, to me, is not business acumen. If you are living in cloud cuckoo land, if you think that's the way to move it forward, you have to give people a reason to come. £5 for a kid, 10 quid for an adult. It's reasonable. Bring people in.
They saw what the reaction was to the Oldham game.
Well, this is my point.
And they put it up again.
Yeah. So whoever is listening at the club about setting prices, you have a supporters board. They should be communicating this to you, and I hope they are, because if they're not, I'm really struggling to understand the function, because it should be fans who are in touch, who know about it, go home and away from all different parts of the stadium.
If you remember, there used to be a home and away ticketing committee, didn't there? I don't know if that still exists.
Gone. But this is my point, Cole. You've got a catchment area of Arsenal, Spurs, West Ham, etc. Literally a half-hour train journey away. You've got other clubs around the area that there's loyalties to. If you want people through that gate, give them a reason to come, drop the prices, people will come in out of curiosity. Now, again, the challenge at League Two is not easy as well. The higher up the leagues you go, we know that from the Championship days.
Yeah, you've got to start winning, I'm afraid.
Of course you have. But I go back to the point, the last time we got promoted from League Two, the last game of the season against Mansfield, we had 20,000 people in the stadium turn up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not just Mansfield fans. We had a massive amount of Don's fans. There are people that will come. But at the moment, they've done some fantastic groundwork with all the facilities. The shop is wonderful. I'm not taking away any of that. But if you want to sustain and build and grow, get in the community, get into the new builds, drop the prices, give people a reason to come. Simple as that. If you're not going to do that, you're going to be running around like headless chickens. End of story.
Here endeth the lesson.
Here endeth the lesson. Which links into I think the FA Cup price is ridiculous.
We tell people how to do it, but that's we know. Well,
what do we know?
Well,
you've been going for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I remember when somebody asked you that,
and then he fell over when I told him.
Yeah. I remember when he asked me as well.
He fell over when he told him that.
I'm a director of a large sporting organisation.
Well, indeed.
That's got more members than you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
right. Grant says, I don't think the FA Cup prices are fair. Oxford save money on their ticket. We get nothing. A lot of people will watch on TV. Yeah, I mean, again, this is the other point, Grant, and it's a very well put point. You've upped the price. And this goes back to the business acumen here. We're on telly. You are deterring people to come to the ground because they can watch it in their armchair.
Again, I wonder how much they're going to get for that TV. Not a lot, are they?
Not a lot, but the gate receipts will be low. Again, the same as like when we did Fleetwood, the gate receipts are low because you can just sit at home and watch it. If the weather's bad, why come out? Yeah. Again, give people a reason. You've got to give people a reason. And it doesn't help. Again, the parking is chargeable as well. I know some fans moaned about
how about some sort of incentive? If you could produce a ticket for the home game against Oxford, if we progress into the next round, that gives you priority ticket in the next round.
Should be. If you go to another, should go for the previous draws, and you're on the system.
Oldham, 25 quid, Club Red, last round.
Yes, tenner up now. Tenner up, crazy. And you wonder why the ground's empty. And then we get mocked on social media. Then that goes viral. Again, guys, just think what you're doing. You're not thinking. You're not thinking. You're just seeing at the end of your nose. Owners could have said Merry Christmas and pay £10 towards every adult ticket sold, so they are 15. Cool, 100%, Grant, 100%. You remember the gift of football we got from Pete when we got the season we went down, unfortunately, with the Don shirt with the red collar. Yeah. And if you were a season ticket holder, you got a free shirt. So things like that, it's little things. And I'm not saying it's going to fix everything, but you've got to build in the community. And at the moment, there's not enough outreach to those new builds, to those people that support other clubs who've got kids in schools in the Milton Keynes area. Get into schools, get into businesses. That's the way to win these things.
We're all getting there a lot on here, aren't we? But we don't like him, do we? No,
we do like Neil. We do like.
I'm only joking if you're watching, Neil.
I know, but it's just
it's Aidan that don't like you. I like you.
I like him, of course I do. I'm a passionate fan. I know there's some great work going on at the club. There's some great.
Why is there nothing up the city centre promote the Dons? Incredible. Exactly. Again, you've got one of Europe's biggest shopping centres up the road, and there's nothing.
But for me, it's day one stuff. If you can't go out to the Wimpy Homes and other brands, if you can't get into the schools, and if you can't, encourage people in businesses by doing what MK Lightning have done for many years, very successfully, by the way, go and speak to them about their business model and how they grow it in the city. Because I don't feel there's enough done in the city of Milton Keynes in that community outreach space. There is a lot that could be garnered.
They sort of expect people to come, but aren't really prepared to do an awful lot to get them there, are they?
Exactly. Yeah. And I just think it's naive.
The world don't owe you a living. MK Dons, you've got to put in the hard yard.
It's not just that. There's established clubs like Northampton and others around the local catchment. They struggle for crowds, so it's not about the time. But you've got to give people a reason. Anyway, Jeff says, "Why is there nothing up the city centre?" As you've mentioned, Cole, 100%, Jeff, 100%. But again, common sense, right? Common sense. You know that. I know that. Grant said Bradford had double the amount of fans in the rest of League Two last season. Yeah, they did, because of the drop in the prices and making it affordable for people.
Yeah, you see, what you is you price it low, you get everybody interested. So there's a bond between the fans and the club, and then the next season they all come back.
Yeah, a little bit more.
I mean, admittedly they got promoted, and that helps as well. But they were doing this long before they got promotion. Weren't they? Doing it long before promotion, weren't they?
Yeah, and I'll go back to my point, right? You've got 30,000 seats. If you've got 30,000 seats at £1 a time, that's 30 grand. If it's fiver, it's 5 times the amount. Surely bums on seats. I know you've got the difference with the placing the stewards, but there's got to be a tipping point where it's just break even. Start there. Yeah. That's what I'd say. Anyway, what do I know? Danny says on here as well. So Danny's come up with a comment. He said, "I think the other thing to do
is nothing about Bonnie Blue again, is it?
Bring in a name: Jimmy Bullard, Flo, dare I say, Dele Alli, and that people will buy a ticket just to see the play." Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, Dele Alli, talking of that one, and again, Danny, quite a good point to make in apparently discussions with Wrexham at the moment. So
really, well,
again, missed opportunity,
didn't we?
Yeah, missed opportunities. Homecoming, right? Homecoming, and don't forget the media coverage that would come with it, Danny. That's the other thing as well, which in turn would generate a lot of income. Grant says, "I agree with Aidan. Lower price equal more revenue due to more fans." Yeah. And I'm not critiquing the new ownership. They're still new. It's the second season in, but look, guys,
they're still learning.
They're still learning, but you've got to start talking to the community. There's only way you're going to grow. If you're just going to sit in offices and think about a cunning plan, go and deliver it. And if your supporters board aren't telling you this, I question why they're even on it.
By selling pies and curry and things like that, and redoing the, but you're only really you
need fans to buy it.
Yeah, but you're only really rewarding the fans that are already there. You're not attracting people from outside, are you?
I just wish, I really, really wish, and I hope if anyone at the club is listening to this, go and get some surveys, go and get some groups of fans across different demographics, across different areas of the ground, like we did the white paper a few years back, and ask the fans about things. Go and ask the businesses, go and ask the schools what would bring people into the stadium. Because I believe you me,
this is something the supporters board should be doing, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're not, really? Cole. No, because if they were, it'd be done. And that's what I'm saying. I go back to my point. I'm not going to castigate names of people on the supporters board. It has to be fit for purpose. And if they're not going to away games, which I believe a lot of them don't, you're not active.
No.
You know, it frustrates me. It frustrates me. But again, it's not my decisions to make. I just think there are plenty of things that we could be doing, and maybe they're being talked about, and that's wonderful. Put them into action. Put them into action. We've had 20 years to put things into action. There are so many missed opportunities. And also, the screen. Do you remember the big screen at the top of the roads when you come in? Could tell you, the game's on. When's the game on? Neil talked about this. I haven't heard it. I haven't seen it. And that was from Neil Hart.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, there used to be a big screen out there. Well, not a screen. It was more like a board next match, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Neil was going, we could do more. We could do... Neil, it was great comment. Do it. Do it. Takes 10 seconds.
Right, let's move on. I'm fed up with that.
Anyway, that's my view on ticket prices.
Oh, I think you're right. You know, it's overpriced, and I think I can't think of anybody. Well, we haven't seen anybody come on here yet and say, "Yeah, great idea." I think
there is no one solution that's going to win anything, Cole. But a number of things could make such an impact. And
piss poor decision, we think. Yeah, piss poor.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's a slap in the face to those fans that support and did turn up for the Oldham game. I think there's more that could have been done there, as I do as well with the teddies and the things that. And again, just as a thought, just as me, who am I to question? But the toys for the MK Hospital, I know that Dave Bosdet and the DSA are involved in. Again, great cause. Could have been a toy for a ticket, Cole, for the Boxing Day game. Bring a toy, get a ticket.
Yeah.
Simple win.
Have you ever thought about working for commercial?
Couldn't pay me enough.
Couldn't afford it. I'm going to say that. I don't think they could afford. They couldn't afford me either.
Well, exactly right. It's called common sense, call them. But again, it's like I get it. There's new people in. They've got new ideas, and I'm all for that. But believe you and me, talk to the people that have been there, seen it, done it, live in the community, work in the community, understand it. That's how you grow things. You don't grow up by sitting in a bubble. You just don't.
True. I'm afraid they were guilty of that in the past. Whether they're guilty of that now, I don't know.
Takes time. Again, there's some great people.
They were guilty of it in the past, weren't they?
Yeah, but there's some great people who've come in.
Very insular.
Yeah, but as I say, Liam in the shop, Lewis has come in the retail side. You've got obviously Neil, all great people have come into the club. I take my hat off to all the stuff they've done, but there is so much more to be done. And believe you me, if you're going to prioritise one thing, growing attendance.
Hardly scratch the service.
Yeah, please come and chat. Please come and chat. There's so much.
Well, the biggest thing is now is get the people on bums on seats, isn't it? So,
exactly. But it will come. It will come. Anyway.
Okay. Move on.
Did you want me to do team talk, Cole, for your comfort break?
God Almighty, yeah.
I thought you'd
roll VT.
Roll VT. See you in 5.
Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 5 of Team Talk with Chris and Ryan. Me and Ryan are finally back together for the first time in 2 weeks. How are you doing today?
It's been a long while since we've been back to you, but I've just been busy with work.
Yeah, so we're back today for preview for Harrogate next week, being recorded on the same day as we've drawn 1-1 to Cambridge. So we'll start off with team against Cambridge and then go from there. Are you ready, Ryan?
I'm ready. If you go into the away game, try the pies. When I went last time, it was banging.
So the Dons team to face Cambridge was Craig McGillivray, retaining his place in goal. Unchanged back three of Lawrence Maguire, Marvek Pateta and Luke Offord. Wing backs of John Mellish and Gethin Jones coming in for Aaron Lemaine. A midfield three of Liam Kelly, Alex Gilby and KTS. And a front two of Nathaniel Mendez-Lang and Callum Patterson. So second half, McGillivray still in goal. A back two of Offord and Ekpateta, Jones and Mellish at wing backs. A midfield three of Liam Kelly, KTS and Alex Gilby. And then a front three of Aaron Lemaine, Callum Patterson and Aaron Collins as Dons returned to a 4-3-3 formation. This was due to injuries to Nathaniel Mendez-Lang and Lawrence Maguire. And later on in the second half, Will Collar and Dan Crowley came off for Liam Kelly and KTS.
Wilson has had a setback in his injury, and it looks like he'll be back in February. Sanders is back on Boxing Day. Thompson is still out with no word on his injury or how long he's out for, but we all know what I'm thinking. Gutted to announce that Joe Tomlinson is out for 10 to 12 weeks with a knee injury. Maguire and Mendes both went off with hamstring injuries against Cambridge. It's unknown how long they'll be out for.
On to some more positive news. Scott Hogan and Conor Lemon Evans are both back next week for the game against Harrogate after some longer-term injuries. And then on to the even better news. Lecco was back on the bench today, followed by even better news that Hepburn Murphy will be back in the squad next week. Gone for Craig McGillivray in goal, Ekpateta and Offord at centre-backs after Maguire's injury. Jones and Mellish at full-backs, both retaining their places. Midfield three of Liam Kelly, KTS and Alex Gilby after we don't have many more options. And then at front three of Aaron Lemaine, Aaron Collins and Callum Patterson to lead the line. And a bench of Truman, Tripp, Crowley, Collar, Lecco, Hepburn Murphy and Scott Hogan.
Over to the goals. Mendes is on 8 and Gilby and Patterson are joint 6. Over to some assists. Kelly and Patterson are on joint 5. Mendes is on 4.
So our points per game after the loss to Notts County and the draw to Cambridge has dropped to an average of 1.65 points per game picked up this season so far. And that drops us down to projected points totally at the end of the season of 75.9, which I ran up to 76 for simplicity's sake. Obviously, Paul Warne wants us to be on 2 points per game to get promoted. However, I think a realistic target is probably about 82 to 84 points for automatic promotion this season.
Chris has gone for Harrogate to score 1, Dons to score 3, with the goal scorers being Hepburn Murphy, Patterson and Gilby.
Ryan has gone with a slightly more different scoreline of Harrogate to score 2 and MK Dons to score 2, with goal scorers being Alex Gilby and the one and only Will Collar.
I finally got a scoreline correct. Cambridge defence is no joke, as I did say last week. But over to my Harrogate. Harrogate are currently on a minus 13 goal difference and do sit in the bottom 3. So Harrogate do lead goals, but we also lead goals, hence why I went with my prediction. Just one last thing before I hand over. Sorry to Aidan about the news of Hogan being back. Right, thanks for listening, and over to the leg ends. That is Aidan and Colin. Enjoy the rest of the show. Up the Dons.
Up the Dons.
Have you given them have you increased their budget? Because the graphics are getting good, aren't they? Really good.
I say, building every show, Cole. Building every show.
I like it. I like even the little thing like the target with the arrow in it. I like it. I like it.
It's not good.
Chris, I hope people like Team Talk.
I do. No doubt. We had lots of positive feedback about it, and again, Chris and Ryan, thank you for everything as always. And also the picture of us at the end as well, Cole. Did you notice?
Yeah.
Which was good fun. But no, yeah, great shout, and I'm glad that Ryan sees the same scoreline as me on that. And I hadn't even watched it before I said it, so that was impressive.
Oh, I am a little bit disappointed when he said the good news that Lecco's available.
Well, the good news that Hogan was available. There's no good news, Chris, with Hogan being available.
Come on,
me as well. Stick
get a grip.
an inanimate metal rod on the pitch. It would still do more. But no, I mean, the only worry is from Team Talk. You look at it, obviously, again, we know this anyway, but Mendes Lang, top goal scorer, one of the top assists. That's a lot to go out his squad injured.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it brings opportunity, and a few others will step forward. But yeah, it doesn't make it easy. We all know that. But I think like Chris and Ryan were talking about the team and the lineup. You know, look at that lineup. Even without him, there's some good quality there. And Hepburn Murphy is due back as well, which let's not forget, he brings a lot of pace into the team, and someone I really admire as well as Chris ultimately from that. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, looking into the game, I know we talked about it with Neil, but you know, generally, Colin, how are you feeling? You worried about it?
About what?
The weekend. I know it's a big score, but was that
I'm not worried about it.
Conviction here that we're going to win.
We will win. We will win,
like
and convincingly.
Handsomely.
Convincingly. I'm with Sheila.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. What's this, Chris? Aidan loves Hogan.
Yeah.
Chris, I can block you. It's fine. I won't.
No, I really do think, I've been saying it for ages, that sooner or later we're going to give someone a good hiding. I just have a funny feeling it's going to be this week.
Yeah. Funny you say that, Grant. I used to be a chairman like Colin. We used to
Yeah,
run
I used to be the chairman of the Sports Association
both
as well.
Us, yeah.
I made a bloody good job of it as well.
We did, didn't we? I thought we did all right. Wasn't half bad. I know Dave's doing a cracking job of bringing it back up as well. So always appreciate Dave as well coming on and making some comments. Ryan has said as well, he's got, if I was new to the city and didn't know anything about the city, I wouldn't know this football club. You know, yeah, exactly.
That's a very good point. It's a very good point.
Honestly, don't get me started again, Ryan.
If it weren't for me and you promoting the club, they'd have nothing.
I'm saying nothing, mate. There is so much more that could be
on the show, yeah.
Ask the question, Cole. We've asked the question. So
live from Kuwait City.
I'll take it wherever. We'll fly over to Kuwait on the company jet.
Well, we don't mind. We don't mind. We'll do this for you. We'll fly to Kuwait and interview him.
And never be seen again taking in a black car somewhere. That'll be it, because we critique something.
What are you suggesting, Mr. Gray?
Nothing at all. But you know, why so challenge?
What we got left to talk about?
I'm trying to think what we got left to talk about now, because we've gone for an awful lot already tonight, haven't we? To be fair, what I will say before we go on to other bits and pieces is I just want to do a thank you to the football club. So Yvonne Howard, as everyone knows, obviously, and again, Dave, thank you for your kindness and winning the shirt and the money you put in to help raise charity for cancer. So those of you watching will know that Yvonne's daughter passed away from cancer not too long ago, and she's had a few other things that have happened which have been frankly dreadful for her. So we surprised her on Tuesday by a ruse. So at the players' sponsor evening, Luke, myself, and Mr. Crowley got chatting. And we came up with a cunning plan, Cole. So we had the premise I had to do a white lie, so I apologised to Yvonne.
So cunning, you could pin a tail on it.
It's so cunning, you could pin a tail on it, call it a pinata, Cole. But yeah, I had to tell a white lie to Yvonne that I was back in England on Tuesday. Clearly I wasn't, because I'm still here in Germany. But we managed to get her down to the training ground with Ian and Lou.
She's not playing, is she?
She wasn't playing. Yeah, she's really good. And Ollie Charnock again.
Because I'll have a donut.
Exactly. So Ollie Charnock, obviously our engagement officer, and everyone at the club has been helping in the background. And we managed to get Yvonne an exclusive lunch with the first team after training. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Paul, to Rishi, to the first team, and Ollie, and everyone else involved at the club that made it happen. As I say, Yvonne's going to have a tough Christmas. So to do something like that and give her something back, thank you. You're a great bunch of guys and ladies at the football club, and we appreciate you. And I know it would have meant the world to Yvonne. So just a massive thank you from me for all the efforts put in by the club.
Good work. Good work.
So yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think, Cole, what have we've done team talk, we've done previews, we've done reviews, we've got the Christmas schedule, whichever way you want to call it.
We never did injury of the week, but we've been talking about that all night.
Do you know what? Let's do injury of the week, Cole.
Well, play it.
Well, you haven't said the magic word.
1v2.
It's your injury of the week.
Right, that was a bit of a joke, and it's become a long-running bloody joke.
So look, Colin and I decided when we were talking about random things to do for the show, and every season we want to do something a bit different. We thought maybe injury of the week is a bit of a comical slapstick thing, and maybe we'll get one or two. We did not realise, and again, Paul and team, if you were listening, it wasn't a challenge that we expected.
No, we weren't saying how many players can you get injured throughout the week.
I mean, joking aside, obviously we don't want to see that happen. But yeah, I mean, again, Cole, big blows with obviously I know Chris has talked about it on the team talk, but the two standouts, obviously Tomlinson and Mendes Lang. So I mean, again, what's that?
Keep talking, I'm eating.
I can see that. I said, yeah. So, I mean, again, we've talked about Mendes Lang, but what's your thoughts on the Tomlinson situation? I mean, 12 weeks is another big blow for me, I think. You know, again, and the frustrating thing is that both players have just come into form at the right time. So,
well, we've done full circle, and I hooked this up with a transfer window. I don't care what he said last week, 2 weeks before. I don't care. Neil Hart came out and said it ain't going to be busy. It needs to be busy.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, I mean, again, you know, we've talked about it a lot across the show, but I do feel like, as I say, the January window is going to be critical, not necessarily for success, but just having that depth to see us through if we do get any other injuries, because that's the thing. Once you've got them, if you get any more, then it does start to become a bit more frail, doesn't it? It starts to sort of expose.
Yeah. You only want to see more, and all of a sudden we had Neil Hurst on from Harrogate the other day. They had two outfield players and one goalkeeper on the bench. That was it.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Christ, we don't want to get in that scenario. Well, we have to play Lecco and Hogan.
Yeah, exactly that. So, no, that's it. I think that's pretty much us done for the injuries, because we've talked them to death already, to be honest, mate.
Well, we've talked about everything today.
Well,
do you want to tell everybody what the Christmas schedule is?
You read my mind. I was about to say, so Christmas schedule, we're on next Tuesday. So Tuesday the 23rd at 7:45, our usual time, but a different day, because obviously it's New Year's Eve. Not New Year's Eve,
Christmas
Eve. And then
we're coming on Tuesday, but we'll put it on Facebook.
We'll put it all on Facebook. And the week after, we're on, because again, it's New Year's Eve, we'll be on the 30th on the Tuesday, not the Wednesday, and then back to our Wednesdays after the New Year. So only a day change, a day earlier.
I might be in Norfolk for that, but I'll be there.
You might be in a secret location.
I might.
There we go.
We'll
I would say nothing. So yeah, got through quite a lot tonight. And again, thank you to everyone who's watched. Thank you for all the comments as well. And thank you to Neil.
If we haven't answered your question about the royal family, I do apologise.
I've had a look through. There we go. Yeah.
I'm itching to know what that was all about.
There's some prats from a certain football club trying to play silly games.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
it's nice when you get famous, Cole, isn't it?
I'm going to get in the green room now, ready for you to tell me all about it.
Indeed. Anyway, before we go, a couple of comments. George said Mellish can cover for Tomlinson. Mendes Lang will be hard to replace. Yeah, I mean, again, that's going to be a big one. Unless you say Warren's got something big up his sleeve. Who knows? We shall see. It's part of the excitement of the transfer window, George, I guess. Craig has said offered is no risk from a suspension, as a yellow card count is null and void after 19 games. Good to know. So thank you for that one, Craig. And then Grant says, great show.
Cheers, Grant.
Thanks, Grant. And again, look, we couldn't do this.
We try our best.
But we can do it without all of you watching. And again, as we always say, Colin never remembers the strapline, but for the fans, by the fans, with the fans, Don's Unplugged. That's what we do it for, right?
Right, okay. So that's it then. We're going to call it a wrap. Our 2 hour slot's over. If we stay any longer, it means we've got to put more money in the meter. So although we're back 2 days before Christmas, stay safe, enjoy the build up and all the rest of it. We'll see you a couple of days before Christmas. Until then, thanks for coming. Aidan, only one thing left to say. Tell them. Say goodnight, Aidan.
Good night, Aidan. Or as we say in Germany, schönen Abend noch.
Yeah, schönen Abend noch from me as well. Good night. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Take care. Come on, you Dons.
Oh, yeah. Come on, you Dons.
I just wait for you to come back.
Come on. Play the bloody credits.
Roll VT.
Roll VT.